Today is pretty exciting because today we're looking at the most famous watch in the world. Welcome back to the Chisholm Hunter channel. My name is Harrison, as always. And today we have a pretty exciting day because we have a new watch. We have the Casio F-91W, which is arguably, actually no, I don't think it's even arguably anymore. I think it is the most popular watch in the world. I should have started the welcomes now, just in time for the bagpipes. Let me explain that really quick. Rolex, one of the most popular, if not the most popular luxury watch brand in the world, produce on average about 1 million to 1.2 million watches a year. This Casio, 30 years, over 30 years after it's released, still has 3 million units made a year. This watch was one of the first low-cost, mass-produced digital watches. And there's no wonder why it's kept going for all these years, because it is brilliant. It is absolutely stunning. This watch covers every single age group, every single price range, every single walk of life this watch has affected in some way. You probably know somebody that's worn this, if it isn't you. This watch's specs prove how diverse it really is. It proves that it fits children, adults, ladies, gents. It could fit any category that you put it in. It comes in at 34 millimeters in diameter. Now that is quite small, it is, but because it's black, because it's bold, it does wear a touch bigger than you might think. It has a depth of 8.5 millimeters and a lug-to-lug of roughly 36 millimeters. So it is a slim watch, and it is a small watch, don't get me wrong, but I think that's kind of what it's meant for. You're meant to forget about it when it's on your wrist. You're meant to put it on and not worry about getting it damaged. In fact, coming in at around about £10, you can normally get it under £10, you'd be better just replacing this watch when the battery dies instead of getting a new battery. When I first got this watch about 4 or 5 years ago, I actually bought it to go to South America with. And the reason I bought it was because I didn't want anything risky on my wrist. I wanted to wear a watch, but I didn't want to worry about said watch. Some of the places I was traveling were quite dangerous, to say the least. So I wanted to put something on my wrist that wouldn't get ripped off my wrist. And actually, I was very pleasantly surprised with this watch. I thought that coming in at about £9 or £10 from Amazon, the strap would be stiff. It would wear a bit like a pig. It would be clumsy and just not great. And I was never expecting it to last me 3 years. And actually, the reason that I'm buying a new one is because I, myself, lost this watch. It wasn't because it broke. If you like Casio watches, or if you enjoy G-Shock watches and want one for yourself, then head to chisholmhunter.co.uk. And we have this awesome new feature where you don't even need to step outside in order to try it on. All you need to do is take a picture on the Chisholm Hunter website of your wrist, and the Chisholm Hunter website does the rest. It photoshops the watch onto your wrist so you know exactly how it looks. The weight of this model comes in at 20 grams, and I think that's partially why it was so fitting to me in that circumstance, because I kind of just forgot it was on my wrist. It was lightweight, durable, and it didn't get affected when I was exercising or when I was sweating. I didn't really notice it. It didn't catch any hairs in my arms. It was pretty comfortable, I have to say. This model comes in at 30 meters of water resistance, and that pretty much in essence means that it's splash resistant. To be honest, I would want to see more durability than that, but remember that this is like 9-10 quid. That's pretty insane. When I was traveling in South America, I did go swimming with this watch because it just was glued to my wrist. I didn't really take it off, and it was fine. With that said, my pals wasn't. It did get a leak and it did break. Before we get into the beating heart of this watch and cover more of the specs of this model, I want you to remember that within the watch industry, within the luxury watch industry and the fashion industry, there will always be fake knockoffs of certain products. Rolexes are a huge one at the moment, and believe it or not, this Casio F-91W also has cheap knockoffs. But I just don't see the point in skimping out on £2 or £3 and getting a fake model which will probably break within half a year. I just don't see it. Whereas when you buy a fake Rolex, I kind of get it, because maybe a Rolex is not achievable for you. A Rolex is never going to be achievable for me, so maybe I would be persuaded more towards a fake Rolex. I don't really like fakes, but I can see your point of view with that one. Now, a quick way to tell if this F-91W is real or fake is hold the right hand side button, and what you'll see popping up after a while is Casio. You can actually see it there. The movement is the Casio Digital 593 that is within this stainless steel case back. In essence, it's battery operated. But I do need to say something. I've owned quite a few fashion watches in my time before I got into luxury watches, and they normally died, the battery normally died within a year, 2 years. They should last longer, but that's normally when they died. This watch is known, and its average is to last 7 years. The front of this watch is shatter-resistant acrylic, and I do need to say that although it's good for the price, over time this does show scratches, so just be prepared to have a bit of a cloudy screen in front of it. On the left-hand side you have 2 pushers as well as one on the right, and the left-hand side controls all your functionality. And now we get to the tiny little detail on the left-hand side. And I say tiny because it is a tiny detail. It's the light on the left-hand side. Now the top left little stick controls that. And it's a tiny light, but it is still functional. It's green, it illuminates the dial in the dark. It's nothing worth raving about, but it's still there. It's almost like walking into a room that has normal lights, but it also has mood lighting. Cool that it has it. Does it need it? Probably not. This watch genuinely took over the world. Let's just do the maths here for a second. So if this watch has been going for over 30 years and they've been producing 3 million units to this day, which means that in the peak they might have been producing 5, but let's just say that they were producing 3. Over 30 years they would have produced 90 million watches. 90 million watches that last about 7 years if you don't want to replace the battery and you get a new one. That is mental. I would argue that this is the most worn watch ever in existence. On that note, thank you guys so much for joining me on this video, having a little chat about Casio. This is just something that I feel pretty passionately about. I think they are the most worn brand in existence, and I truly believe that. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Please hit that subscribe button if you do agree. If you don't agree, let me know in the comments, then hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, please head to our Instagram, Chisholm Hunter Watches. Follow us there. We post mostly about watches. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.